Have you ever felt stigmatized for your mental health by another person?
Oh, yes. What first comes to mind is that, I have never been diagnosed with a clinical mental health disorder. What I have is I'm a woman in science, and I came up through a field where there were no women around. And I'm not that old. I often got, oh, stop being so stressed what, just calm down. Basically comments that were fundamentally treating me like my personality was wrong, that I was not healthy because I wasn't behaving the way men would expect me to behave. I can only imagine if you are actually dealing with a condition where you have no more control over than you would if you had diabetes, that would be even more challenging, stressful.
Have you ever felt any mental health stigma towards yourself?
Absolutely. And interestingly, I mean, I have done therapy off and on for various reasons, and I don't necessarily put mental illness and therapy together. So to me, therapy is just it's like part of the thing that you do to take care of yourself. I get that noise going on in my head all the time. You're not good enough. You're not enough. If you were just more fill in the blank, you wouldn't then get into this stress. Yeah, a lot of negative self-talk about why is it can't I take care of myself. One person can make a kind of not very appropriate comment and it sends me off. I'm recently widowed, widowed then COVID, and so just it doesn't take much. I feel like I have a story that I should be more resilient than I am, kind of in that world of just feeling like it's never enough.
Have you ever witnessed another person being stigmatized in any way due to their mental health?
Oh, yes. And we could talk about my daughter, whose coaches, instead of letting us know that she was suffering from pretty serious mental health issues, she was cutting. She was suicidal. Both her high school and her gymnastics coaches, they just bribed her. Her coach is like, well, if you show up for gym and you're not cutting, then I'll let you do this thing. I mean, like, found this out many years later. At school, they did not let us know that they were pulling her out of class and having her talk to a counselor. She was 15. For me, what was underneath it was that somehow this wasn't an organic illness that needed to be treated like any other illness, that this was something behavioral that could somehow be fixed by changing her environment or her parents' behavior or her whatever's, and just the complete underlying communication of this is bad and wrong. And she certainly internalized it that she was worthless.
Do you feel as though there is an internalized societal stigma around mental illness and seeking treatment?
Yes. The fact that our mental health isn't part of the rest of our healthcare, just that, that there's lots of others, but that's probably the biggest one. Like what, the brain's not an organ. I think that there's a lot over, but there's a lot of covert. I was thinking about Father O'Brien. Where it's okay for us to take leave if our husband has cancer, but it's not okay for us to take leave if we're so stressed out we can't take care of ourselves. We have so much external pressure that we can't just take a step back and say, hey, I need to take some me time and go for a walk and maybe not do this thing. And it's just really baked in. You're supposed to tough it out. And, it's the same thing had people go to work sick.
Do you have any ideas for the reduction of mental health stigmas?
One, as we roll forward with new healthcare, that health is health. I think that in terms of something that we can do sort of at the local level, professional level, is to continue to use this concept of unconscious bias in how we train our faculty and how students listen to each other in all areas where we're doing any kind of human resource interaction. It's part of diversity training. I think that the concept of unconscious bias has been really helpful for me. It's a way for you to acknowledge what you're doing yourself, which is the only person you can really change. The only person's behavior you can change is yours. It's a way to do it without then getting yourself into that loop of you're bad and wrong.